Hello guys, welcome to Lunatic Astrology. I'm your astrologer, Lori Lothian. And today we're going to talk about the North Node in Taurus and the South Node in Scorpio, a placement of traveling nodes which create eclipses. And we haven't seen this particular axis of eclipses active since 2003 May throughout the calendar year of 2004. I'm going to address some of the ways that's going to repeat patterns of massive disclosures and revelations of secrets and deception, as well as accelerate us maybe in the space race, as well as new technologies, maybe things to do with the internet developing at a higher pace as well, and unfortunately some severe weather. Now, before I go ahead and talk about that, I also will tell you I'll do your all signs, but I'm going to go very quickly and just give you a broad brushstroke of how you can expect things to shift in your life over the next year and a half as this new eclipse cycle has begun now in earnest, now that the North Node and South Node have moved into the Scorpio and Taurus axes of the sky, which they have just done on the 18th of January, 2022. Now, before we go ahead and do that, I'm going to do not a live draw, pre-recorded draw. I'm doing this draw on January 20th from my bowl of names of 73 people who entered my contest to like and comment on my moon video. Go check out my Cancer moon video in my videos from a week ago. And these are people on my Cosmic Moonshine newsletter. And if you're on that newsletter, you get pop-up contests like this. And so of my 800 subscribers, 73 people entered the contest. So that's a pretty good chance of winning. I'm drawing one free reading, and then I'm also drawing 2 half-price readings as well. So number 1, Consuelo Tognola, you have won a free reading with me, and you are one of my already existing clients, and I haven't seen you in a while, so that is really lovely. Okay, number 2, second winner, this of a half-price reading is going to be Jay Bailey. Jay, you are a winner. Yay for you, half-price reading. I'll be in touch. And last but not least is Tia or Taya, I'm not sure how to say your name, Ikas. I'm probably pronouncing it wrong. I'll be in touch as well. Thank you for participating in my contest. If you're not a subscriber to Cosmic Moonshine, a weekly newsletter giving you a lot of update every Sunday about the sky ahead in ways I don't cover here, please sign up. You get 30% off reading with me. You get a bunch of free gifts as soon as you sign up, and check your spam box because all that information comes the minute you sign up for my newsletter. Okay, let's get going and talk about the sky. Number 1. Oh, and by the way, doing a Mercury Kazemi webinar on Sunday, January 23rd. It's a live participation event. It's a guided meditation. We're going to connect to healing and abundance energies that are available that day in the magical moment that Mercury is bound to the sun in a perfect connection to the divine intelligence. So that's your cup of tea. It's only $22, or if you're a subscriber to my newsletter, it's even cheaper. It's like $18. Check the description box below. All right, so now moving on, sky stories. Number 1, what happened in 2003 and 4 when the nodes of the moon, which is where eclipses happen and they move into a new sign, one of 12 signs in the sky every 18 years. What happened back in 2003 and 2004? You won't believe this because we're going to see a repeat of these themes as well. Things like revealing of secrets that were kept hidden from the public. 1, weapons of mass destruction, says the 9/11 Commission, were not a problem in Iraq. That was the excuse the government gave the people for the invasion. In hindsight, it was clear they just needed a good spin. Number 2, the abuse of prisoners of war in the Abu Ghraib prison in Iraq and the terrible atrocities that were committed with these prisoners of war were released by the 9/11 Commission and put into the public sphere in 2004. And, you have to look at the idea here. It's not, obviously, it may not be a prisoner of war story or whatever, but there's secrets that have been kept from the public that will be given to the public or leaked to the public or revealed in 2004. I know a lot of people still believe that that the COVID was a lab leak out of Wuhan, and maybe we'll get disclosures and revelations about that prove what most people suspect. There's a big horn honking outside my house as I talk about lab leaks. Things like, and even the Pfizer data for their safety of their vaccines, apparently they're being forced by a court system to reveal all of their original data. And now they're in battle for that. And the court ruled they have to release it. But of course, I'm sure Pfizer will go to appeals. But let's say Pfizer loses that in 2004 and just reveals safety data during their trials of their vaccine. And it shows that they were not they were not good data. But in other words, that there were problems. So I'm just saying, get ready for those sorts of reveals. I'm not anti-vax. All right, number two, Facebook was launched in 2004. What kind of new social media, metaverse, omniverse thing could be launched? Because with the North Node in Taurus, especially with Uranus there, invention is going to be a really big deal. We had a bird flu take over 10 countries. We're all pandemically fatigued, but bird flus do still exist and still go from birds to humans every now and then. Right now, there is a flu that goes around from bird to human, very deadly, but not necessarily human to human at this point. Let's cross our fingers we don't get that. Do you remember the big tsunami? Expect extreme weather anytime the North Node is going through Taurus, especially more so now that we have Uranus there, which was a precipitator of the Dust Bowl era in the 1930s, and you add Uranus in a broad square to Saturn this year, you're going to see some extreme weather. So the big tsunami that hit from an earthquake in Indonesia and killed 80,000 people, most notably the famous devastation in Thailand at the resorts on December 26, 2004. Very, very tragic outcomes for people who were on vacation in Thailand. So there is this thing about extreme weather, and certainly with Jupiter in water sign Pisces this time around, that amplifies water events like flooding, like tsunamis, etc. So I don't want that to happen, but it's possible. The Mars rover discovered water, that there was water on Mars. There was they figured out that what they were looking at were dried floodplains and water plains. There was a lot of space exploration going on as well during that era, and breakthroughs with rovers in space. And I think we'll see more of that in the next year and a half. And last but not least, there were a lot of bad hurricanes. It was a really bad hurricane year. Every month from about August to December, there was another hurricane story that had, been a big deal. So hurricanes, tsunamis, extreme water weather, very likely Scorpio, where the South Node is. The South Node is considered to be a negative influence, can increase that, but also spill the secrets and the toxic lies that may be hidden from public view. I love this little book by Joni Patry. She's a Vedic sidereal astrologer. She has a channel on YouTube. I met her at a conference at the NCGR in 2019 for astrologers. And I said to her, "Your hair is so big. Are you a Leo?" And she goes, "Aha, no, but I'm a Leo moon. So I'm not a sun or rising." But she's quite the character, but I like her writing. And this book, I just like what she says about the effects of Rahu. That's the North Node. We all think, oh, yay, the North Node, but it can be positive because that's where we grow and expand. And when I do the all signs, I'll be telling you how you're going to grow. I'm going to focus on where you're going to grow and expand with a touch point of where you're going to lighten the load and release. South Node, K2. But here's what she says, as little keywords for the North Node, and I think she's very accurate here. Fame, status, prestige, and power, worldly success, fulfillment of worldly desires, outer success with inner turmoil, extremes, obsessive behavior, addictions, psychic disturbances, collective trends, foreigners and foreign lands, epidemics, disease, poisons that destroy and heal, medicine, drugs, and alcohol. Now, I want to say with the North Node in tropical Taurus, not sidereal Taurus, tropical zodiac Taurus, that energy is applying to things to do with Taurian things. So currencies, money markets, climate change, things that are earthy. Okay. All right, let's get going. Let's do the all signs. Oh my God. Sorry, guys. This is spinning. I'm on a table that moves when I move. It's my high top drafting table desk kind of thing. So anyway, so give me a sec. Will I just go into make sure I didn't miss any of those things I wanted to tell you about? No, I don't think I did. I think I captured all the news stories that I really wanted to mention to you guys. And so let me go ahead and let's get started. I'm going to start with Aries. Don't forget to please like and subscribe and help my channel grow. I finally crashed through the 3,000 subscriber mark a couple of weeks back. I'm so excited. It's taken me a long time to grow my channel since I moved to astrology, and I was doing all this ascension wave, spiritual enlightenment stuff. And then I crashed into astrology as my passion. As soon as I changed the channel name, I was getting I don't know, I would complain, but I was getting thousands and thousands of views on all kinds of weird shit that I put out there, about dreams and ascension waves and enlightenment and stuff. And then suddenly I went to astrology and the algorithm what the hell did you just do? I'm sorry, guys, it's taking me a while to open up something that I'm trying to open up in the back end. I do apologize for that. Give me a minute. Maybe I'm going to just pause the recording because my table's wobbling when I touch my computer and it's driving me nuts. Okay, let's get started. I'm going very quickly. This is going to be a short half-hour video. So number one, let's start with you, Aries, sun, moon, and rising sign. Don't forget, it's always going to be most accurate to listen to your rising sign. So Aries, sun, moon, but also most especially rising sign, what you have going on is the North Node in the second house of money. Don't forget, it's where things expand and increase. Earnings, voice, vocation, and calling are up leveling over the next 18 months of your life. This is a fantastic time for you to stretch into a new idea about what your worth and value is and what you are capable of creating and generating for your resources that support you in life. Home, food, shelter, water, and money are very much applying to who you are to increase their in momentum and in terms of how high you can go. This will certainly be for some of you breakthrough earnings year, but also you may expand your vocation in life in order to create those earnings. You have the South Node in your 8th house. It's time to lean away from the 8th house in terms of where you make money, or use your money. So, inheritance money, investment money, 401k, retirement monies. Those are kind of monies that are just there and you can access. Spousal money. If you rely on those monies with the South Node there, there's less of that. Sometimes the South Node transit through the 8th house can bring some money from an inheritance, however, and that may occur over the next 18 months by the loss of someone in your life and therefore a possible inheritance. Not guaranteeing that, not that we all want that anyway, but it's possibly a narrative as well. So you, moving quickly, rising sign, Taurus, sun, and moon, especially rising sign. The energy of the North Node expanding and increasing and pulling things into greater power is in the house of you, Taurus. So this is about your identity growing and expanding. This is about you leveling up. And with Uranus there as well, which I should have said for the Aries folk, jolts of rags to riches for you Aries. But with you Tauruses, Uranus is really like amplifying sudden and dramatic shifts of sense of identity. I am whatever, a wife, a mother, a student, a researcher, a writer, I don't know, any way you define who you are. And there's basically an expansion and a growth edge there. It's a time to lean into being a little bit more selfish and self-centered in the sense that you're taking energy away from your primary partnership, love relationship, marriage partnership energy of the 7th house, or clients and audience if you have them. And you're pulling away from that as you focus more on you and expand your sense of who you are over the next 18 months. So it's for one time for you to actually focus on you and get some real momentum. Gemini, sun, moon, rising sign. Well, the North Node, which expands whatever it touches and inflames it and grows it and can bring a lot of intensity, right, in that zone, isn't a very subtle place in your sky. It's in your 12th house. It's not really a place that you necessarily consciously can be aware of. It depends if you meditate or remember your dreams at night. Certainly North Node with Uranus there could bring jolts of insight, sudden dreams, revelations, and aha moments to you from your interiority of meditation and dreams, and maybe also some momentum around foreign lands and revenue from foreign lands as well. The South Node, on the contrary, is pulling away energy and diminishing it and emptying things out of your 6th house. And for some of you, this could be a change of workplace, a change of work habits, letting go of a certain way that you focus on work. And you could also end up with a health challenge, I have to say. It is the house of sickness. The South Node is a karmic element. So you may come into some difficulties with your health, but you're looking for resources to resolve them as well as the South Node transits through the 6th house. If you have addictions and patterns of behavior that don't serve you, you'll be learning to undo those and let go of them as well. Cancer, sun, moon, rising sign, especially rising. The North Node expands and pushes into things and grows your 11th house of good spirit, where you may experience some karmic dividends like windfalls, pennies from heaven, great gains financially from your career, favors from friends and allies who want to help you, the fairy godmothers on duty over the next 18 months. Now, the North Node can expand your social networks and social friendships as well. You may join new clubs of belonging, you expand your reach in the public or with groups of people. At the same time, with Uranus there, you can have sudden changes around those social groups, sudden and exciting developments around money. Again, windfall energy, pennies from heaven, Uranus striking here with an eclipse, especially eclipses plural. Pay attention for some of you to the last week of July with Uranus North Node in your 11th house could propel a very dramatic increase in your financial situation from from wherever, from cosmic and karmic rewards. Oh my God, there's a mosquito outside at this time of year. I can see a mosquito at this time of year. Can I just point out that this is January 20th in Vancouver, Canada, and there is a mosquito sitting on the window outside my house? I mean, you can't make that up. That is really weird. Welcome climate change. Okay, so number 2, sorry, South Node is moving through the 5th house. So a lot of you Cancer rising especially will have separations or departures from your children, like they move out, they denest, you move away from them, you're less involved, you're releasing the connection or the attention energy around children. Karmic love stories, if you're a single Cancer rising, you can meet a soulmate with the South Node going through your 5th, all right? You could also find that you may want to move away from that kind of like interior creative zone of the muse, the artist studio, kind of being inward as you sit around making things and creating things, because South Node is lessening that energy for you during 22 into 23, the next 18 months. Leo, sun, moon, rising sign. So you guys are expanding and moving and amplifying and growing and extending energy with the North Node going in the sky right now for the next 18 months through your 10th house of career, reputation and status, success, achievements, etc. Often this is where people see you like doing something. And if your midheaven is here, it's even more intense. In my astrology whole sign houses, the midheaven floats. But the idea is that it often is just simply seen as a place of career energy. Now, the North Node can expand some of you Leos into new career directions, or the existing career can really grow up quickly. Uranus can be sudden promotions, sudden changes, sudden amplifications of your career, or sudden changes in career, especially with Uranus there. Everything can happen very quickly. If you want to, if you're going to have like, I'm engaged, I'm married, I'm divorced, I'm widowed, big changes of status. Uranus sudden, North Node dramatic. So some of you Leo rising especially can have sudden changes around that kind of status and reputation part of your life. With the South Node, however, going through the house of home, land, real estate, ancestral connections, your homeland, your motherland, your fatherland, and like your house you live in. Some of you will be releasing energy there, buying, selling a house, moving, letting go of the home you live in, letting go of the homeland you live in. It can, especially if the root, the IC of the chart is there, then some of you definitely will experience in the next 18 months a relocation. Virgo, sun, moon, and rising sign. Sorry, I had to take a deep breath there. I have to be on a court case for a Texas court thing for an estate in 20 minutes. So I want to make sure that I arrive on time to give my deposition. So next, Virgo, sun, moon, and rising sign. So guys, Virgo folk, especially rising, the North Node is expanding through your house of higher education. Now, for any Virgos who are going back to school or in school or universities and colleges, this is good. It's amplifying your energy there, and it's a place where you can experience rewards and success. And it's also the house of foreign lands, so trips to foreign lands can be very beneficial, or moving to a foreign land if that's your cup of tea, but things to do with foreign shores. And if any of you Virgos who are writers, which are a lot of you, are into publishing something over the next 18 months, the possibility of successful publishing is highlighted. Now, a deeper meaning of the ninth is the meaning of your life, the dharma, the path you're here to walk, and that's expanding for you. Could be an expansion of awareness. Certainly pay attention to July with the Uranian North Node collision in the middle of that ninth house for you, where you could have a huge breakthrough of understanding around your purpose in life and what you're here for. Now, the South Node is moving through the third house, pulling you away from short-term education, seminars and workshops, and also maybe divesting your energy away from siblings or things you're doing in your local neighborhood. If you are into the online world, marketing, selling, or if writing has been a part of what you're up to, the South Node could actually, a couple of things, it could pull you away from the act of writing. Maybe you want to now look for an agent or a book publisher, for instance, but it also can activate sort of a deeper placement for your writing, like South Node moving through Scorpio in the third house, you're activating a deep reservoir, some of you Virgos, within yourself regarding that. Now, South Node through the third house can also simply mean a change of neighborhood, so you may move and have a change in your neighborhood. So obviously this is not moving to another country or state or something as much as moving to a new home within your existing environment. Maybe, as I said, another neighborhood, not another state, province, etc. Libra, sun, moon, rising sign. Now, this is important for you guys. I should have said this for Taurus, but Venus is the ruler of the North Node, right? So you Scorpios and you Venus and Aries and Libra and Taurus get a lot more juice from these eclipses. Okay, so by rulership. So Libra, sun, moon, rising sign, it's a very intense time in your life right now with the North Node going through the 8th house for the next 18 months. The 8th house is a house of death and rebirth, transformation, snake sheds its skin, phoenix rises, caterpillar, butterfly. You got the vibe, right? And the North Node's expanding those themes. Now, if you're into occult mysteries and magic and metaphysics, this expands that element as well. It's also the house of inheritance and death, and literally someone you know may die and bequeath money to you in the next 18 months, especially a female, because it is a Taurus ruled 8th house. You might find that you're going to have dramatic changes in your wealth to do with investments like stocks, crypto, dramatic changes around that kind of money, investment money, banks and mortgages, thing that 401k, big changes there. Be careful with your 401k, with Uranus there. If you're invested in the markets and you're afraid of downturn and you need your money out in a short term, some of you Libras, be careful, please. Now, also you have the South Node, therefore going through your 2nd house of earnings and paychecks. Now, and making money in that kind of wage earning salaried way. I don't think you guys, or selling possessions, because possessions is there. Like I possess a home, I possess a car. So certainly with a South Node going through here for 18 months, you may divest of a possession, sell a home, sell a car, sell something of value to you. But you can also release and lessen your earning story. So retire or take a job with less money because you're going to move into like riding the 8th house money. Your investments took off or you got an inheritance. So you're taking yourself away from the earnings treadmill and you're moving towards using the 8th house money in a more powerful way. Royalty income as well. That can be very 8th house or residual income. Passive income is what I'm saying. Scorpio, sun, moon, and rising sign people. So with this energy in your 7th house, Uranus has been there since 2019. Now the node's there for the next 18 months. A huge amount of change energy regarding business partnerships and marriage partnerships. Now, it doesn't have to be bad. The North Node actually tries to grow an existing business or love partnership into something larger. You're looking for a bigger container, and there are going to be changes in your partner's life, especially that impact you, business or love, but you're growing it into a bigger thing, and a lot of attention goes into the relationship. Where conversely, the South Node through the house of you, Scorpio people, especially rising, the sun and moon by derivative, is less so, like you're less focused. If you're a single Scorpio rising, you could definitely meet a very important new relationship person with a North Node transit through your 7th house over the next 18 months. But if you're with someone, your focus is going to be on your partner and things that you're doing with and about your partner. South Node through the 1st house could have some challenges to your health, but it's kind of a karmic energy. So you could feel a little more physically depleted. Pay attention to your health and focus on your health during this cycle. I mean, Mars is your ruler, and Mars is rising in the morning sky in November 21 in the house of your body. So you've got coverage from Mars, kind of like an insurance policy to help you with your health. But the North Node going through there too. For some of you Scorpios, you need to be careful about depletion of vitality and energy over the next 18 months and put a priority on your health. Sagittarius, sun, moon, rising sign. So Sagittarius folk, you get a lot of momentum in the house of work and work routines and health protocols. That's your 6th house. Now, it's also a place of karma and karmic energy as well, karmic debt in particular. So you may be focused on doing things, and even if you're not conscious of it, over the next 18 months where you're kind of paying off karmic debt by being of greater service to the world or to other people. You do have Uranus there, so you can have sudden change in work routines or in the workplace itself. And you also have energy of amplification of the work. So it can make you more busy. You could be more busy over the next 18 months than you want to be, Sagittarius rising especially, but to some degree, sun and moon. Next of all, the South Node is moving through the subtle realms of your 12th house. Now, this is a time where coming into contact with the idea of your eternity and maybe past lives and other elements of you beyond the conscious awareness of you, your dream life, your dream self, your nocturnal dreams. There's a moksha enlightenment thing that can happen when the South Node goes through the 12th house. You could wake up spiritually, some of you Sagittariuses, into a new dimension of reality about who you really are. So keep that in mind. And sometimes things to do with foreign lands and foreign shores may arise during during the next 18 months, in which it has something to do with karma. So, oh my God, I went to Greece and I felt like at home there. It must be where I lived before. And those narratives can happen for a lot of Sagittarius. Capricorn, sun, moon, rising sign. Well, Caps, you goaty goats, you're having a really interesting time with, I felt the Council of Capricorn gathering up steam in your first house right now. And by, time Mars joins the fray in the last week of January, I mean, it's insane, right? Venus, Mercury, Pluto, Juno, the sun, well, the sun will be gone by then, but Mars, a Council of Capricorn, there's a lot of weight in the house of you right now, the first house. So there's a lot of energy and you're really feeling this, I'm sure. I have no doubt about it. There was a Council of Aquarius in 2021 that I felt very strongly with a pile up there. Now we have a pile up in Capricorn. You may feel really intense energy because it's also part of a Kalasarpa yoga, which is like a very heavy, dense energy that's like constantly around the you of you. So let's talk about the nodes though. The North Node is moving through your house of children and romantic love and sometimes speculative money luck. You could win the lottery. You could have a really boisterous new romance in the next 18 months. You could pay more attention to your kids than you ever have. I had that North Node through my house of children. My daughter was my project. I was a caseworker through a bunch of health challenges for her for a year and a half. Well, I was hoping for romance. I didn't get it. Instead, I got attention to my child. So Capricorn rising, especially, one of your kids may demand a lot of attention in the next 18 months from you in some way. If you are a single person, this could bring in a very powerful, dynamic, exciting, and enchanted and karmic romance. And if you're with somebody already and it's dry and you've lost fun and vitality and joy with that person, it can amplify the play, the fun, and the sexuality and bring it back to life. And again, lastly, with Uranus there, and this is a money luck house and the North Nodes there, some money luck breaks can come for a lot of Capricorns in the next 18 months, where all of a sudden out of the blue, yes, you bet on that horse and it won, or you went to the casino and the jackpot machine gave you money. Those things are very possible in the next 18 months for some of you. Aquarius, sun, moon, rising. That's me. I'm an Aquarius, Saturn on the ascendant, South Node there too. Yeah. I always joke I should have been in an ashram, not in the world. So the jive vibe here for us Aquarian folk is that with the North Node propulsion energy moving through our homeland, our house and our real estate and where we live, we are being pulled and pushed and expanding over the next 18 months into a new home. Now it's North Node. We have to be careful. We might want to rent the 3-bedroom penthouse that we can't afford, but we could also find that we are up leveled into our new home that is really amazing for us. So some of us are going to find in the next 18 months an enchanted, amazing, expansive, prestige energy and around the idea of where we're living. Because we've all had that Uranus transit since in earnest 2019, though it started in 2018, through our 4th house, the nomad transit, Uranus destabilizing the home, a lot of Aquarians are going to be moving a bit, right? This is part of our narrative. And it happened for me. I've been moving since 2018-19. When this began. But this is now the North Node chiming in, and with Uranus, whoa, sudden dramatic and exciting changes of where we live. Now, things in the home can be very exciting and things we do from home as well. As soon as Uranus ingressed into my 4th house as an Aquarius, my YouTube channel took off in 2018 and went through the roof. May of 18 to October on stuff that had nothing to do with astrology. It was all about ascension waves and enlightenment stuff. And it was going crazy on me. It was thousands and thousands of views, and I only had 300 subscribers. So, things we do from the home, Aquarius rising people especially, can take off dramatically this year suddenly and be very accelerated, especially with the North Node now joining Uranus. The South Node's in our 10th house, and let's just lay it on the line, Aquarians. Some of us are changing our career path. Now, I've been writing fiction for years on and off, and I'm an award-winning short fiction writer, but I'm in the middle of a novel that I think is going to be a trilogy, and it's going to go places. So maybe the South Node through the 10th house, for some of us Aquarians, we can leave a job, leave a career path. We're divesting of our reputation. We're not so concerned with pushing ourselves out into the world and being something and recognized. And it takes us away from the outer world energies of career and more to the home base, all right, over the next 18 months. And keep that in mind. Last but not least is the Pisces sun, moon, and rising sign. I'm just going to make this court case in time. So Pisces folk, the energy is amplifying your neighborhood, your siblings, your aunts, uncles, and cousins. Third house. It's also the house of writing. If any of you are Pisces who wish to write, this is going to be 18 months of great writing opportunities. You may have some changes and an amplification, a new neighborhood for you, maybe not a new country, but a new neighborhood. Your siblings may take precedent and may actually benefit you with the North Node here in some way. You could also learn something new. Now, skills-based learning, like learning, a tool, a technique, something you can use in your life. And, skills-based learning, seminars, workshops, and stuff, amplified for 18 months, the learning you do can be very powerful for you and very exciting. With the North Node in the middle of in late July meeting with Uranus there, expect some unexpected and jolting changes around things to do with siblings and neighborhood. Now, and aunts, uncles, and cousins and stuff like that. Now, you're looking at the South Node in the ninth house, pulling away from foreign lands, foreign shores, and higher education. Now, when I say foreign shores and foreign lands, be clear, foreign to your birthplace. So like my sister who's a Pisces rising, born in Canada, lives in the United States, the South Node through the ninth house could pull her away from the United States, right? Over the next 18 months. Maybe the sibling thing is she's going to move close to me and my other sister, third house, North Node stuff. All depends on where the root of your chart is as well, which is the IC, which we can't do without a personal reading. But some Pisces may be propelled to move away from a foreign land if they live in a land foreign to their birthplace, South Node through the ninth. But you're also divesting of higher educational energies, not so interested. If you have a spiritual path, South Node through here can help you let go of the rigid and things that don't fit you, dogmatic spiritual paths, as you lean into something very soulful and very different. South Node through the ninth house could bring you in touch with like Zen Buddhism, because you were doing Zen Buddhism in a past life and you dump your rigid Protestant stuff or something like that. So it could be very powerful spiritual energy. The ninth house has to do with God and truth and wisdom and Dharma. So there's a lot of intense energy up there for you. All right, guys, thanks for listening. Please like and subscribe. Don't forget to hit the bell for notifications. Check my description box for everything I have going. Mwah! Thank you for listening and being on one of my people who supports my channel. I love that you are listening and I hope liking what I do. Bye-bye.